Bowles. Welcome to this week's pre-foreclosure tip of the week. Pre-foreclosure daily guidance. Chris the Drummer Bowles, Bob LaChance. First of all, Chris is leaving tomorrow, which he's going to be
speaking of the drummer,
he is drumming in Nashville, which is awesome, for a 3-day gig, which is awesome. So good luck with that, dude.
Thank you, sir. Working remotely, so I will still be available.
Yes, he will be. Yes, he will be. But this week's tip of the week, we get into Bank of America again in one of the BS things that they just pulled on us, and we're going to go over exactly what we're doing right now to overcome that BS move that they pulled. Also, a latest tip from Wells Fargo. Watch out with your proof of funds letters and what's on them. Okay, you guys are going to love this one. Anyway, let's talk about Bank of America for a second. And again, I just have to throw a disclosure. Equator.com, this is not about you. Since you watch our stuff and you think we yuck on you, has nothing to do with you. We actually like your system. This has to do with Bank of America, the company that you actually uses your system. Okay, so if you're going to be tattling or something, this is not about you. It's about Bank of America. Chris, take it on.
Yeah, we are big fans of the system. Use it every day, and definitely, I mean, I would say it makes it a lot easier. So.
All right, enough with that, dude. Yeah. It's not about the system. It's actually about the content that we put out.
So the BS with B of A, working on a short sale with them for last couple of months, and throughout this whole process, from day one, the contract went in with seller concessions, as the buyer requires them to qualify for the loan, as is often the case.
Which is an FHA loan. This is our end buyer, has FHA financing coming in, and as everybody knows, all you know, that they typically require
seller
concessions. So obviously we submitted this offer to Bank of America through Equator with seller concessions, and it was approved through the 2-month process, and then.
So out of nowhere, got a message from the negotiator this morning, and she's a very, very sweet lady. I've talked to her several times, stating and claiming that out of nowhere now all of a sudden the investor will no longer allow these concessions, which is like completely out of left field.
Which they didn't know this, or she didn't know this, which she claims for the prior 2 months before this. So. With that said, what are you doing to overcome this?
Well, first off, for any of those of you who watched or listened to our webinar a couple weeks ago on Equator, we discussed that whenever there is a task that we, the negotiator, have to complete, before the negotiator at B of A will respond to the file and act on it, you have to complete your task. So basically, the note from her came through a counter on Equator. So first thing I obviously did was I put the concessions back in and sent the offer back to the negotiator so that I completed my task, and it would show up on her end that she had to tend to the file.
So you're not conceding though?
No.
Okay. So he just did this so they don't close the file, and he had to abide by a task.
Right, and it would notify the negotiator, notify her that the file needed her attention once again. Okay. So obviously, but in this counter worksheet, I put the concessions back in. I also sent her an email just saying, I'm not sure what exactly this investor's thinking, because this makes no sense. Right, they're not going to qualify. Are they actively trying to close the file? So I sent her a message along with it just to, and just so you guys know too, whenever you're in a situation like this, it's pretty much always going to be somebody behind the negotiator. It's usually not going to be the negotiator themselves. It could be, but it usually is not going to be. So you want to be careful with the tone and with the kind of who you're addressing your message to, very specifically.
Basically, don't say screw you and then that's
right,
it, because you're going to hurt yourself.
Right. In most cases, the negotiator is just a messenger. They're doing what the investor's telling them to do, and so you want to do like what I did this morning, which was basically the investor this, the investor that. Is this investor stupid? Yada yada. You're not. You want to make sure you're not.
So basically, push it off to a third party.
Right.
Attack third party through them, and then you're good. And Chris already built proper rapport with her, so he doesn't want to screw that up for future deals.
Right. Exactly.
So don't do that. And we will keep you informed on exactly what happens with this.
Exactly.
This is ongoing because that seller concessions has been happening to a lot of people. We've been getting the same feedback. Mm-hmm. So watch out for that when you're initially submitting your seller concessions to B of A through Equator. You like that? Obviously, if they're not FHA VA. Right. All right, I know that was quick. But anyway, how about this one? Pre-approval letters. This is from one of our students. I received a decline letter from Wells Fargo. Here is the copied reason. This is in quotes. The buyers are associated with, and this is a transactional funding company, I'm not going to say the name, something, 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 has openly admitted to property flipping, quotes again, and we cannot work any deals associated with them. We cannot accept an offer on this property from the current buyer. A new offer with a new buyer will have to be presented. That right there, fellas, is something you gotta be aware of, okay? They are looking through every single piece of document that we send them. If you're an investor, obviously this doesn't have anything to do with the retail side of it. If you're an agent selling to a retail buyer, this has to do if an investor buys it and they want to resell it per se. Okay, this is what it has to do, and that's what a transactional funder is. Transactional funding allows you to use their funds typically within a day or two. I know there's some right now that allow you to have it for 30, 60, 90 days, which that is going to be the better funding, to be honest with you. Closer day funding, you're going to have to, this is the way the industry is going. You're going to have to get private funding, okay, or raise your own private funds, which is private funding from attorneys, doctors, relatives, whoever you could get that money from. Transaction funders, quick funding, we could get into that. This is not even this one. But the bottom line is, okay, you got to look at every single piece of document, because what they did is they looked at this pre-approval letter, okay, and they identified exactly what they didn't like with it. And now they're looking at videos like this, okay, and they're going out on the internet saying who is funding these transactions, okay. So now they know that this particular transactional funder has to do with property flipping. So not that I want to take any business away from anybody, but if you're looking at these videos, just be aware what your what your letters say and all of your documentation. You have anything on that, Chris?
Yeah, it's just something that you always want to be careful of, because again, when the negotiator goes through a file, they're going to examine each page of your short sale package. So if there's anything such as this that's going to essentially screw you over, as this one has, you want to make sure, obviously, that you don't submit it.
Yeah.
So before you submit the package, you want to go through your contract, your listing agreement, your proof of funds or pre-qual letter. Your hardship letter, everything.
And we're going to get more into this on the Friday coffee break on Friday with my business partner, Pat. So don't worry about that. But anyway, we actually just upgraded, again, our PropTracker.com system. We integrated our buyer lead generation website, which is Prop Mapper. You like that? Prop Tracker, Prop Mapper. But anyway, it's PROPMAPR.com. So all of our members, make sure you start submitting all of your properties for sale on Prop Mapper. It is absolutely unbelievable. But anyway, Chris the Drummer Bowles, wish him luck in Nashville. Bob LaChance getting back to this week's pre-foreclosure tip of the week.
Somebody wake me up. Somebody wake me up, yeah. Somebody please wake me up. Whatever happened to the butterflies? Whatever happened to the summertime? And the feeling I got the first time that I saw your eyes?